You know what went wrong with Horizon? Alright, we need to talk about Bloodhound. The main issue with Crypto, it is at this point that I want to talk about the possible combinations. This is the meta right here. We got the new mid-season patch notes, so I'm going to be talking about which characters I think are good at all levels of play. Let's get into it. Now first, I just want to say any character is viable in normals. I mean, it really doesn't matter. You just play who you want to play. Obviously, there's characters that are better than others, but for the most part, you don't have to think about it. You just play whatever you want to play. So I guess I'll mostly be talking about ranked and competitive here. Okay, let's start with Bangalore. Bangalore has been like the go-to pick for competitive players for like the last 2 years. Why? Smokes are good for pushing a team, or running away from a team, or rotating, whatever. Now they've been nerfed a bit, but they're still good. The ult is also good for the same reasons the smokes are. It could be used offensive or defensively. Overall, she's just a really good utility balanced pick. So I think Bangalore is good for ranked and good for competitive. So give her a little check mark. Fuse. I think Fuse is also good at all levels of play. Him being able to hit the ring console is a big buff to the character. And I think it makes sense. I mean, the guy is basically a ranged control character. You control space that you don't even control. This is like the one character in the game that I can think of off the top of my head that you can just full kill a player or multiple players without shooting your gun, especially when you get really good at him. So we're going to give him a little check mark for ranked and competitive. Ashe is, how do I say this? I just feel like the character is so underwhelming. The ultimate is a good idea, but it rarely works out. You just ult and then they're just pre-aiming it and then you die. The snares. So Ashe, I wouldn't recommend at any level of play. I mean, obviously, let me give the caveat. If you're good at a character and you really like a character and you can play them effectively, you can play them in ranked. But I'm just saying I would not recommend it. So Big X, Mad Maggie. Mad Maggie is a weird one for me. I feel like she's pretty good in ranked. It's not my type of character, but I can say from experience that whenever I'm against a Mad Maggie or everyone on my team, I feel like they do pretty good. And here's a big important thing to keep in mind right now. Shotguns are super meta. And Maggie doesn't get slowed down while carrying a shotgun. So I think for that reason, I'll say okay for ranked. Competitive, I don't really think in competitive. We haven't really seen much of it other than like one team at LAN. So I'll say Nook to competitive, although mainly because Newcastle Wall gets rid of her Q. So if that didn't happen, she'd be really good against Newcastle, but that's just not the case. So Big X, well, X for competitive. Ballistic. Don't talk to me about Ballistic. Please, God. Listen, you can make this character work, but I don't like him. Do you know what I don't like? Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do it. This is a whole video. I'm not doing it. Moving on. Pathfinder. Big check. You got mobility for yourself, mobility for your team, and you can choose to hit a recon or a control character based on what your team's lacking. That's pretty good. And, you know, the reduced damage zipline is extremely effective. Have you seen it in competitive play? I mean, players just don't die off them. So there's always the problems. Oh, his hitbox. Oh, you know, I sympathize with that. But I just think that the mobility mixed with the ability to hit a scan, and also you can get your ults back really fast with hitting your scans and the care packages and stuff. So it's really good for getting around quick. Wraith. You know, I feel like Wraith, Octane, and Revenant can all be put in a similar basket. Wraith maybe a little less so, because you can do some good stuff with her ultimate. But I'm going to just say, I've seen her played in competitive a little bit, and it can be done. I just feel like there's better ways. Maybe I'm just not a believer. Maybe I'm a hater. But, you know, ranked Wraith, as long as you're not toxic and you play with your team and you actually use your portal, you can do some stuff, sure. Octane. You know what's crazy? Octane is universally like pooped on for being bad, but people still love to play him. So in ranked, here's what I'll say about Octane and ranked. Just keep in mind where your team is. Slow down. It's okay. If Octane players slow down a little bit in ranked, sure, you're not offering a lot to the team, but usually Octane players are crazy. Be mindful to your team. That's all I have to say about that. Competitively, Octane, come on, man. Come on. Revenant is still good in ranks. I mean, the shield nerf is notable, but he still does what he does. So, but competitively, there's like a team or two playing it at LAN, and, you know, they kind of ran over teams on edge, but they didn't get very far. Maybe one did. Maybe one did, but you're not doing anything for the team other than like tanking, and then that's it. You're just tanking more damage. So no. Horizon, huh? You know what went wrong with Horizon? At least off my memory? I just feel like she didn't get any usable perks. Wasn't that what happened? Like, every character got good perks, and then Horizon's like, I can see ammo and grenades, and I got cooldown reduction. You're not really getting anything. I mean, Val can scan people through the walls now, and Horizon sees grenades. Oh, wow. Unless something changed. I don't think anything changed, though. So, Horizon, not good and competitive unless something changes that I didn't notice. Won't Newcastle Wall just destroy her ultimate? Is that a thing? Probably. Gone with that. The Q is always good. I'll say this. In ranked, I think she's very good. And her base kit's really good. Her base kit's really good. So, sure for ranked if you know how to play her. In competitive, nuh-uh. You know the thing about Alter? I almost don't even notice that she's in the game. I'll be playing a game, and then someone goes to a wall. I'm like, oh yeah, that character's in the game. Going through walls is like a fun gimmick in games that always sounds OP, and sometimes it is in some games. I just feel like it isn't that great in Apex. Maybe I'm missing the value. Maybe. Hey. I haven't played Alter a lot, so I'm probably misguided. I'll be honest. I do think her ultimate is interesting though, but it doesn't do a lot. It's good for resetting and getting out of a bad situation. If you're playing with randoms and you don't have coordination, it might be rough, but you could probably pull some cool stuff off with it. I think she's okay for ranked. I mean, I just don't feel like she does a lot that's valuable. In competitive, I don't really see a place for her right now or ever. Maybe. But yeah, I'm gonna give it X for that. Hey, you know, maybe leave a like and subscribe. You know, thanks. All right, we need to talk about Bloodhound. Now, maybe I'm missing something because, you know, I'm not the smartest guy and I'm, you know, maybe I missed them. Bloodhound's ultimate, the main gimmick is you get threat vision, right? All Recon characters now get threat vision. So what is Bloodhound's ult doing again? Let me look. Okay, here we go. You get more Ravens, which overcharges your ult and refunds your tactical. So you get more tacticals, more scans, and 30% speed. Then you get the threat vision, and you can see extra things like footsteps. So you get a speed boost, more white Ravens, and you can see footprints, I guess? I mean, you definitely get more than just the threat vision, and it is black and white, so it makes the threat vision more effective. I don't know, I just feel like that kind of hurt Bloodhound a little bit, and I haven't really heard anyone talk about it. But Bloodhound kind of was bad before that anyways. I'll be honest, look, Bloodhound's Q scan is always going to be good. So, I mean, I can't just say, oh, Bloodhound does nothing. He's a Recon character, and his scan's good, so he's useful when ranked. He's not the best, but... So, while I wouldn't recommend it, Bloodhound can be used. Not competitively, though. I mean, there's no reason to run this character in competitive that I can think of. So X on competitive. Crypto, my boy. Now this is interesting because up to this point, or the last couple months, Crypto has been the only good Recon character, at least in competitive. But with the Valk changes, which we'll get to, this might be in contention. Now I'll go ahead and throw my hat in the ring and say, I think Crypto's great. You can do things much more efficiently with his drone, like hit the scans. His Recon abilities are unmatched. His EMP is good. His invisibility is great for resetting your team. It's been done multiple times at all levels of gameplay. The main issue with Crypto is once you lose his drone, he's not even a character. So you just gotta be careful of that. For ranked, I think he's good. Competitive, I think he's good, but we'll see. Because Valkyrie, I'm just gonna say it, is a force to be reckoned with right now. So Crypto will give the check. Seer, I don't know, man. I'm a little confused on Seer myself because I feel like his kit is just, it's just not consistent, maybe would be the word. Like the Q, if you don't hit it, is just bad. And then his ult isn't what it used to be, but I mean, it can still be effective. His passive is very bad before the range upgrade. I don't know, I feel like I just put Seer in the same scenario as Bloodhound because they both got nerfed hard. They used to be dominant and now they just are like relics of their old selves. So while I would say, yes, he's a Recon character. You can play him in rank. I think there are better options. And competitively, I see no reason to play him over Crypto or Valk. So, okay, Vantage. Now, this one's interesting. Vantage went from being like a release that no one thought about to now everyone's scared of little orange lasers. She can hit Recon scan. She can hit control beacon. And her sniper is really strong now. I don't know. Vantage is just pretty, like, really good in normal play and ranked play. So, obviously, there's a check for Vantage in ranked. Competitively, though, I haven't seen her once. And I can understand why. Like, what is she doing for the team? Nothing, just scans. Double scans cool, but you can do that with other characters that are also good, so not good for competitive. Valkyrie is an easy check for me. Now, maybe when pro players hop back into it and no one's playing Valk, I'll look like an idiot, but I'm telling you, man, I see no world where Valk is not played by multiple teams, at least. Let me lay it out. She has mobility for herself, mobility for the team, offensive capabilities with her missiles, and CC, by the way. She is now Recon, so she has threat vision and Recon UAVs. And now her ultimate is supercharged, seeing everyone through walls. So rather you're playing offensive, defensive, zone, edge, it doesn't matter. This character is good. I would say the one case that maybe Valk won't be good is if like you're playing center POI and you rotate so fast that you'll never get her ultimate. That is one issue I would say. Fast rotating with Valk will be slightly difficult because her ultimate is 3-minute cooldown, which most teams that are getting to zone early are already there in 3 minutes in competitive play. And keep in mind, they also nerfed ultimate accelerants, which means it'll be harder to get her ult earlier. So Valk, pretty good. You know, actually, not pretty good. Will Valk be OP? Maybe. What playstyle is she not good for? I mean, if you're playing ranked and you want to play to zone or defensively, there you go. You ult there, you're good. If you want to run people down, brother, she's seeing everyone. She hits that scan, she pops that ult, she's coming. We'll see how it goes. I'm just theory crafting here. Gibby is weird. Shotguns are good right now. Gibby's dome is good, and his ultimate's good, I guess. I don't know, Gibby's a hard character to talk about, because I feel like no one plays him, so it's kind of hard to get an idea. I mean, sure, Crypto EMP destroys his bubble, which makes him like a sitting duck, so that's a thing. I don't know, man. Why wouldn't you just play Newcastle? So that's kind of the thing. Why wouldn't you just play Newcastle? And ranked? I mean, why not? Here's the thing. If you're playing a good class in ranked, like support or recon or controller, maybe less controller, because people don't care about going to zone in ranked. If you're playing recon or support in ranked, you're doing something for your team just by existing. If you're recon, you hit the scan. If you're support, you can reset your entire game from going completely downhill just by being on the team. So for that reason, any support character I think is fine in ranked, good in ranked even. Gibby's just like a very specific type of character to play. And with shotguns being good, I feel like in ranked, you can make them work. You're just not going to be, listen, you're a big boy. Yeah, every character moves at the same speed, so they say, but people don't like the bulky feel of characters, and they want to move fast and get in and out of fights, all that stuff, so I get it. But I think Gibby can work in ranked, for sure. For sure. Maybe even in competitive if Crypto goes away. Oh, here's the thing though. With Valkyrie, Gibby Dome is really good with that. That's what they used to do all the time. And sure, you can do that with Newcastle as well, but Gibby's Dome is just full coverage. So that could be a thing. And, you know, I don't know, man. I'm going to say no competitively for now. Or maybe. I'll say maybe. And we'll leave it there. My brain hurts just talking about it. So we'll just leave it there. Okay, Lifeline is just straight up good in ranked. I mean, the revives can be useful at all levels of play. The perk where you got like the really good care package is, I would say, a little redundant now with the new loot bins. I mean, getting insane loot at second ring closing, I think people just go self-res now. So there is that. But competitively, I see no reason to play Lifeline. I'll say no to competitive ranked. Lifeline's fine. Sure. And also, she's support, like I said. I mean, Mirage, do we even need to talk about it? Mirage is kind of like Octane in that people that like to play him have a good time, and sure, you can do some stuff for your team, but he's kind of like a gimmick character. Let's just be honest. So I think you play Mirage in ranked, especially if you're good at him, you can do some good stuff. Competitive, there's no reason to even talk about it. Loba, she's fine in ranked, I guess. I mean, the loot is okay. I mean, usually when you get a Loba on your team, you're like, oh yeah, I can loot. Problem is, maybe you just spend a little too much time looting. That's just my opinion. I think in ranked she's fine. She doesn't really do a lot. I think what most people do on Loba is just run away when it goes downhill because you're the only mobile support character. I think in competitive, Loba is one of those characters that come in and out, depending on the meta, I guess. Hard zone, then maybe you can make Loba work. The only thing you're doing is getting good gear, which can be good. Like when NRG used to play Valk, Watson, Loba, and just go to center zone, and maybe that could be done today. I don't know. I would not bet on it. I suppose it's possible. So sure in ranked, no competitive, or probably not. Newcastle, I mean, this guy. If you watch The Last Land, Newcastle was one of the most played characters, and he made or broke teams by himself. So he's just a great defensive character. You have the mobile wall, which can be used for micro rotates, depending on how good you are with it. His ultimate is essentially a mega charge rampart wall mixed with a Watson ultimate, I guess, because it's a wall with it destroys projectiles for a while. I mean, his wall is really strong for competitive play. I mean, you can make a spot that's unplayable, playable, and that's huge. And then, obviously the revive. If you have a gold knock on Newcastle, what are you doing? It's very hard to deal with. If you watch Land, I don't think I need to tell you. It's crazy. It's good. He is a hard character to play, though. Conduit. I think Conduit's really good if you just want to fight. She's like a good fighting support. You don't have to stop and heal. I think her ultimate is fine. It's just, I like her ultimate, but I don't know how well it meshes with like the offensive support character. I mean, it can be used effectively, obviously, and I like it. It gives her more, well-roundedness, so I kind of vibe with that. I think she's good in ranked. I say very good in ranked if you're playing aggressively. Competitively, other than like contesting, I don't know why you would run her, so. All right, we got Big Stinky Caustic over here. I think if you're playing Caustic in ranked, I mean, you can solo teams if you know how to play them effectively. I've done it before. You know, I'm not even that good at the game. Caustic is like the offensive, defensive character. That's kind of fun, but in competitive, he doesn't really do a lot that the other control characters don't. Sure, his ultimate could be huge for an end game. He doesn't provide any rotational value. I don't know. I think the way I'd put it is he doesn't have a lot of utility. It's kind of just like a defensive character that can do a lot of damage. Sure, you can use his ult like a smoke grenade. That's kind of iffy. So I think he's pretty good on ranked. Competitively, I would be very surprised if Caustic became meta right now. So I would say no to competitive. Yeah, I'll just leave it there. I don't think he'll be played competitive. I feel like the other two options are better. One of them being Wattson. I'll give Wattson a check right away. Let me put it this way. Wattson is good enough that people were still playing her when crypto was meta. I mean, her ultimate, I think, is just so good at competitive levels. You don't have to worry about your shield as much. Her fences are really good for showing presence and taking space. It's kind of the same thing in ranked, but obviously those things are less important in ranked. She's still great in ranked. So yeah, I think Wattson's just overall really good. I will note though, with ult accelerants being less common, that could be an issue for her, maybe, because she is heavily reliant on those. So we'll see about that. I still think she's good. Rampart. Listen, with Newcastle being meta, I was hoping and praying that someone at LAN would just pull out Rampart and start minigunning walls. I'm surprised no one did it. People start playing Revenant, but not Rampart? Man, here's the thing about Rampart. It's similar to Caustic in that she's like a defensive offensive option, kind of like Caustic, but she's not providing like extra shields or rotational value or anything like that. So I think she's great in ranked when you use her right, just like any character. You can do a lot with Rampart, her walls, and her minigun, obviously, but not in competitive. I think she could be played in competitive. That's the thing. I just think there's other things that you need to take into account, and maybe I'll get into that. So yes, in ranked, no in competitive. Oh, my head hurts. I'm thinking too much. I don't have a script. I'm just talking. Okay, Catalyst. The thing about Catalyst is she's not the greatest at controlling an area as a controller should. Like, yeah, the spikes are okay and the door is pretty good, but sometimes you don't even have doors. The main thing about Catalyst is you have a control character and you have a great rotational option. You see teams playing stuff like Crypto, Newcastle, Catalyst. Catalyst is the rotation. The wall is really good. I mean, it's just that simple. You can use your wall to get away. You can use the wall to rotate. You can use the wall to push a team. It's kind of like Bangalore smokes in that it can be used in a lot of different ways because it obscures vision. It's very good. Competitively, checks out, ranked, sure, why not? It is at this point that I want to talk about the possible combinations that I think will be seen a lot, especially in competitive. I'm mainly talking about competitive here. So let's go on down here. Will be played. Yeah, this is some rocket science. It's pretty much the current meta with Valkyrie added. Yeah, and genius, I know. So I put will be played here. But do I actually know that? No. But I think these are all characters that can give value in competitive, depending on who your other characters are. Okay, so what do I think is going to be the meta? What is my guess? Okay, here you go. Valkyrie, Newcastle. Okay, so I'm going to cheat here a little bit, and I'm going to say Wattson or Catalyst for playing zone effectively. Here's where I'm torn. So you have the macro rotate right here with Valkyrie. Is Newcastle good enough for micro rotating with his mobile shield? If it is good enough, then Wattson. If it's not good enough, then Catalyst. And I feel like it's not good enough in most scenarios because there's going to be an angle where you're going to get hit. The thing with Wattson here is you better hope you end up in a good spot because you're either going to have to YOLO Valkyrie or trust Newcastle to rotate. Now this is a really good zone oriented. What about edge? So at LAN, this is what you would see from a lot of teams, like really good teams. Bang, Fuse, Crypto, right? And what's the problem with this comp that you can see right away? Where's your rotation? Bangalore smokes? Bangalore smokes are great, but they're not getting you in a great spot if you're in a bad spot. Guess what? Boom. Well, now you can just do it. And look, you kept Recon scans. You still have a Recon character on the team. You can rotate now. Okay, so what are the rest of these characters doing here? Listen, teams are not going to all play the same thing. Right away, at least. There are comps that are working right now that can still work. Like this. Look, you got Pathfinder, Newcastle, Crypto, Ring Console, rotations, the defensive support. And look, Recon. There you go. Do I think it's as effective? I don't know, man. I don't even know if anyone's going to play Crypto anymore. Maybe. He does a lot. But Valkyrie just seems so good. When positioning is the most important thing in the game, Valkyrie is just so good. When knowing where everyone is, when you're rotating, Valkyrie is so good. So what if you could just do this? I don't know. Valkyrie is amazing. So yeah, these are all characters that can be played. Do I think Valkyrie is going to be played in the meta? Absolutely. You're crazy if you think she's not. Are you kidding me? Listen, if she's not played, you can come to this video. You can point and laugh in the comments. Do what you gotta do. I see no world where she's not meta. No world. I'm putting my foot down. And you know why you should trust me? Well, you shouldn't. I'm a guy who posted a YouTube video, okay? Go easy on me. You can still make fun of me if I'm wrong, though. So yeah, what's the meta? Yeah, let me do it for you. Here you go. This is the meta right here. Woo! Valk is the meta. Valk is the meta. Did I just make this whole video to tell you that? Yeah, I guess so. God, I really hope I'm not wrong. I'm gonna look so stupid. Oh. It's getting dark outside. It's getting dark in here. I've just been sitting here yapping for some amount of time. Okay, well, that's all I gotta say. I mean, I'll just yap to you like I always do. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. If anyone made it here, sure. I'll at you.